Hello, everyone. Well, the draft is now completed, and instead of doing like round by round, because 2 through 7 usually isn't the most notable things. There was always some pretty good players, but not always like stars like in the first round. I just decided to go through all of them at once. This should be out by 3, so not the best timing, but it's okay. Update on the other videos, like I said in the post, they'll be moving to series because usually, unlike today, of course, because the Blues play the Jets now, unlike then, really, it's just not worth it. And then the Battlehawks, that game was on ESPN, so I couldn't watch it. That game was amazing. If you could watch it, obviously, that was probably one of the best UFL games of all time. However, I couldn't watch it, so I will be getting that soon. Alright. I just feel bad for always being so late, but that's just how it is right now. Everything. Like, I usually just stay up all night, then I'm really tired. And either that or I have school, but we're here. We're talking about the draft. That's really all that matters. But anyway, let's get into it. We will be going round by round. However, when I get to like round 6, I'm only pointing out people I know, because it's not worth it to go through every dang pick in the book. And then also talk about some UDFAs. I think I can go to a UDFA tracker, because, may as well, because it's so late. And I don't know whether to wait until the schedule release to update my predictions or not. I think I'll wait to the schedule release, but we're just going to have to see. Anyway, let's actually get into the picks, starting with the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. Now, we all expect this. We all expected this. Cam Ward, clearly the best QB in the draft, best prospect in the draft. Titans need a QB, considering that dude Will Levis is a meme machine. Dude cannot play football, but he plays interesting football. And the Titans basically have no one else. They got Tyler Lockett pretty recently, but let's be honest, he's not going to do anything to help them. I don't see the Titans doing well right now, but Cam Ward is a good start. The Browns make one of, in my opinion, the dumbest decisions of all time. And we'll get to the Browns later, because the Browns did something very interesting in rounds 4 and 5. Or 3 and 5, I guess. But the Browns traded down from Abdul Carter, from Travis Hunter, over to number 5. Now, obviously, they got Mason Graham. He's a really good defensive tackle. But they allowed the Jaguars, which I'm not happy about, because the Jaguars, they still have Trevor Lawrence. On paper, their squad should do good. I don't know why it doesn't. And the fact that they're adding Travis Hunter is not a good thing. Now, he's listed as a cornerback, but he also plays wide receiver. So we're just going to see how he plays, really. It's going to be very interesting to see if he plays cornerback mostly, wide receiver mostly, if he plays both evenly. But I'm very mad that he went to the Jaguars. Now, about everything else, the Jaguars are still mid, with Trevor Lawrence is still overrated. However, this will help him a lot, I think. At number 3 overall, the Giants do what a lot of teams decide to do, and they pass on Shedeur. They go Abdul Carter from Penn State, arguably the best player in the draft. He was an edge rusher from Penn State. He was really good. Penn rusher. edge rusher from Penn State, but he did get injured. However, that really doesn't matter to anyone. His pro comp is Michael Parker. Really, they did need a QB and stuff like that. However, he's the best player available. You may as well take him. The Giants literally need everything. They're going to be picking high again. What do they have? Russell Wilson? Oh, they drafted Jackson Dart. But we'll get to that. It's not the greatest, but it was definitely a good pick for them. At number 4, the Patriots don't take the flashiest pick, but they take the best pick they could take. They take an offensive tackle. They take Will Campbell. Will Campbell is a really good offensive tackle from LSU. And with Drake May getting sacked a lot, this is really going to help. In his first interview, he said he's ready to die for Drake May. That's a good mentality. He's gonna like instantly be good, instantly block well for my boy Drake May, and the Patriots get a little better. Now, I don't think this pushes the needle for them being good. I think they still need a few more pieces. However, good pick. Went through the Browns. Number 6, we got Ashton Jeanty. If I was voting for Heisman, I'm voting Ashton Jeanty for Heisman. If you saw what he did, he played every game literally perfectly. And that guy was one of the best running backs of all time. It just runs over everyone. You see that 6-tackle breakaway? Yeah, I bet you have seen that 6-tackle breakaway. But Ashton Jeanty, really good pick. I don't know if the Raiders necessarily were the best fit, considering they needed QB more than anything. However, it's a really, really good fit, right? If we were talking about needs, Ashton Jeanty and a running back position would probably be second. But again, they passed up on Shedeur Sanders. So where does he fall to? Yeah, the New York Jets, of course. As a Colts fan, there were some points in the draft where I was worried that my boy Tyler Warren was going to get taken. And this was the first war. However, the New York Jets decided to go offensive tackle and take Ahmad Membo from Missouri. Now, Ahmad obviously is not the best offensive tackle in the draft, considering Will Campbell is there. But he's also a really good one. But who is he blocking? Justin Fields? They don't have a QB. Right? They don't have a QB. So, Membo, while a pretty good pick, and probably will help Justin Fields and another running back, I don't necessarily think it was the best for the Giants. And talking about not necessarily for the best, we've got Tetairoa McMillan. Now, this was a case of picking the best player possible. Because, in my opinion, the Panthers needed defense way more. However, helping Trevor Lawrence, that is not Trevor Lawrence's team. Disavow what I said. Helping Bryce Young in the receiver room when he was definitely improving since last year can help. Tetairoa McMillan, obviously the best wide receiver in the draft. Didn't have necessarily the best year last year in college. He played at Arizona. He's still one of the best wide receiver prospects, and he's going to do pretty good in the league. Just, I would have gone defense. Another offensive tackle off the board. The Saints take Kelvin Banks Jr. Again, not the flashiest pick. But with, Derek Carr, who just got injured, he needs to be protected. Kelvin Banks will help with that. At number 10, I thought for sure Tyler Warren was going. I thought for sure, yep, this is Tyler Warren. We're going to have to take Colston Loveland. And the Bears, they decide to pass. They pass on Tyler Warren and take Colston Loveland at 10. I don't know. I mean, Tyler Warren, in my opinion, was clearly the number one tight end in the draft by far. He can do everything. He can run in the Wildcat. Like, he can throw. He's like the Saints tight end. Don't got his name right now. But you know. The guy they use in the Wildcat all the time. And they take Colston Loveland. Now, he might be a better receiver, but is he better? No. So, Colston Loveland, kind of embarrassing for the Bears, considering Tyler Warren was right there, but I'm not complaining. I'm really not complaining at all. At 11, 49ers take Mykel Williams from Georgia, an edge rusher. He was pretty good. One of the better edge rushers in the class. Paired him up with Nick Bosa. That's going to be a really good edge rushing duo. But with the 49ers starting to lose some pieces, was edge the best fit? I think this was a case of picking the best player possible. And this is definitely better than Teteroa. Because unlike Teteroa, it's not necessarily like the San Francisco 49ers need everything. They don't need a lot. They can run it back and probably go 12-5. So I think this was a good pick. At number 12, to replace Zach Martin, the Cowboys take Tyler Booker. Now, when I heard Tyler, I got really mad. Because the Cowboys did not need a tight end whatsoever. So I thought they were saying Tyler Warren. I was getting mad. I thought they sniped it from us. And then he said Booker. And then I calmed down. But Booker, he replaced Zach Martin. So you can't really fault him for that. They pretty much needed it. And, they need a better run game. At the last pick before the Colts, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, goes to the Miami Dolphins. I'm just happy it wasn't Tyler Warren. The Dolphins definitely are in the best place right now. I think their offense can still be high-flying, but they need a lot of pieces on the defense. Defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant is a good start. And at 14, the Colts take just the best tight end in the draft, Tyler Warren. We won't get into that right now, considering I already did. However, I'm pretty happy about that pick. At number 15, Jalen Walker, linebacker from Georgia, goes. The Falcons actually got 2 linebackers in this draft. They traded up back into the first round to get another one. So they're bolstering their linebacker core. Good to see, considering they have, no linebackers. So I think this was a pretty good pick. Now, the next one that they got, I'm not too sure about. Walter Nolan, defensive tackle from Ole Miss, goes to the Cardinals. Shamar Stewart. Now, Shamar Stewart, when the Bengals need, everything on defense, when he recorded 11 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks in 3 seasons. Now, obviously, the tape's good, and they need a new edge because Trey Hendrickson, that situation is not looking good. I don't know if Shamar Stewart was the guy. I feel like he probably would have fell to the second round if you didn't take him. I don't think this was the best pick by the Bengals. No. If he turns out to be good, well, that's on me. But I don't know. Just, no. The Seahawks take Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. Now, just because he's North Dakota State doesn't mean he's bad. He's a bust. He's a really good offensive guard, even though he's from North Dakota State. I mean, North Dakota State's the best team in the FCS. They win, the championship every year, or at least get to it. A really good offensive guard. The Seahawks really need an offensive guard. Just a great fit. Emeka Egbuka goes as a wide receiver to the Buccaneers. the Bucks bolster their receiving room. Now, they've got Mike Evans. They've got Chris Godwin. They have pretty good receivers. And adding Emeka Egbuka onto that receiver room for Baker Mayfield is looking really nice. And hopefully he doesn't take away enough yards to where Mike Evans can't get 1,000 yards, because that will break the all-time record. And we want to see that. At 20, the Broncos take Jahdae Barron. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say a cornerback was the best fit, but the Broncos are going to be scary at the cornerback. And they already got PS3. Oh, yeah. The Broncos are going to be scary with this guy. Pat Surtain, the second. Man, the Broncos are going to be scary at cornerback. The Steelers, they pass on Shedeur Sanders, and they take Derek Harmon, defensive tackle from Oregon. Now, I was a little shocked by this, considering the Saints. Not the Saints. I keep saying the Saints. I don't know why. The Steelers, they need QB. What do they have? Mason Rudolph? I mean, they were bagging on getting Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know, from what I saw, he might retire. So, I mean, they got Will Howard in the 6th. We'll get to that. But Derek Harmon, defensive tackle. I feel like it's a good pick. Just, you needed a QB. The Chargers take Omarion Hampton. Now, this is kind of that Michigan play style. Run the ball a lot, don't really throw it. We saw that with Harbaugh in Michigan, back in 2024, back in 2024, like early 2024 in January when they won the Natty. Just the kind of pass less, run more offense. And Omarion Hampton, one of the better running backs in the draft, goes to the Chargers. Now, is this necessarily the best or the most fitting pick? I feel like there were better options. However, Omarion Hampton, I think, will help the Chargers. For the first time since 2002, and their home area, the Packers select a wide receiver going with Matthew Golden. Now, I don't know why they didn't do this for Aaron Rodgers that whole time, considering Aaron Rodgers is one of the best QBs of all time and never got any wide receivers. I mean, they drafted his replacement before they drafted a receiver, so that's that long wait, not good. However, it is good that they did draft a wide receiver. Matthew Golden is a really good wide receiver from Texas, had a really good season. I think he'll do well in the Packers. Donovan Jackson, offensive guard, goes to the Vikings. Again, not necessarily the most flashing pick considering what's going on next, but still a good fit. They need to protect J.J. McCarthy. So, and at number 25, what was this? The Texans? The New York Football Giants. They go up in the draft. We're all expecting them. We're all expecting them to take Shedeur Sanders. They move up in the draft, and they take Jackson Dart. Now, this is going to be a trend for a while here for my boy Shedeur. But Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart is not good. He's not good. He plays at Ole Miss. Ole Miss sucks. The Ole Miss offense just doesn't fit in the NFL. I don't know. Let me see what. Let me see. His pro comp is Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Well, I guess he'll sit behind Russell Wilson. It's just, I don't know. The Rams also trade down, again, like I was saying earlier, James Pierce Jr. Apparently, he's labeled as an edge. I thought they got both linebackers. But or both edges, one of the two. However, bolstering their rushing defense, considering they didn't have the best rushing defense last year, was a pretty good choice. I feel like they had a pretty good first round in the draft. And of course, the Ravens just get everyone falling to them. They take Malachi Starks from Georgia. He's a safety. Was he the first safety? Yes, he was the best safety in the dang draft. He was the best safety in the draft. And he falls to the Ravens. They always fall to the Ravens, or they always fall to the Eagles. And you see who the Eagles got. We'll get to them. But Malachi Starks, really good safety, really good sneak pickup from the Ravens. Just great all around. 28, the Lions select Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle. It's okay pick. Not necessarily the best. Josh Connolly Jr. This one was also not really the best pick. Protecting Jaden Daniels is always a good thing. I don't know about taking him, though. He had the fastest 10-yard split. So, cool. At 30, I would have gone Nick Emanuele, but from Kentucky, the Bills select Maxwell Hairston, quarterback. I think he'll help him a lot, although it doesn't matter because the Chiefs own him. Jihad Campbell from Alabama. He's a linebacker, and he's probably if Colson or Warren was not on the board, the Colts would have took him. The Colts would have took Jihad Campbell. The fact that he fell all the way down to 31 to the Super Bowl champion Eagles is absolutely disappointing. And of course, they always get the guys they want. That's just the rule. And the last pick of first round, Josh Simmons, really good offensive tackle. Really good pick from the Chiefs. It's unfortunate, but a really good pick. Now, I'll be going through this a little bit more slowly or fastly because I don't really know or care about every single one of these guys. In the first pick of the second round, the Browns take Carson Schwarzenegger. The early second round is always have some good players like Jaden Higgins from Iowa State. That's a good pick. The Texans really needed a wide receiver. Nick Emanuele goes to the Seahawks. I think that was a steal. I think that was a really good pick for the Seahawks. I think he'll fit well. Quinshon Judkins, the Ohio State running back, he goes to the Browns. Again, passing on, what's his name? Shador. Jonah Savania, he's offensive guard, goes to... Again, you need to protect Tua, so pretty good pick. Travion Henderson goes to the Patriots. Probably the better running back in Ohio State. I would have took him over Quinshon Judkins. However, both of them are pretty equal. Luther Burton III. Now, I'm kind of surprised he fell out of the first round. And he goes to the Bears. That's going to help Caleb Williams a lot. Luther Burton, he's a pretty good receiver. He's pretty good. He's going to be liked. And then the Saints, they take Tyler Shuck. The Tyler Shuck? They take Tyler Shuck? Who is Tyler Shuck? Now, I know who Tyler Shuck is. But you take Tyler Shuck over Shador Sanders? Tyler Shuck? This guy isn't good. His pro cop is Joe Flacco. Okay. Yeah, Saints, I don't know. TJ Sanders, defensive tackle for Bills. Mason Taylor. Hayes, consensus third. Oh, he's not consensus third. He's fourth. My bad. Pretty good tight end. Goes to the Giants. Jets. Alfred Collins goes to the Niners. Donovan Ezekaraku. He's an edge. He goes to the Cowboys. Good fit. Micah Parsons. He's going to help. This is going to be a pretty good edge, in my opinion. The Colts take JT Tuimoloau. I went over that in my short, of course. Terrence Ferguson, is he third? No, he's fifth. Who was third? Did they already take a third tight end? Or am I mistaken? Tight end. No, who's third? Who was third? Why are they passing on the third? I don't know. Will Johnson. Will Johnson's a good pick. Now, he was top 10, top 5 last year, if he had went to the draft last year. However, he did get a pretty big injury. I forgot what it was, like leg. Let me see what it says here. And that's what he fell so for. He fell to medical concerns. The fact that the Cardinals got him on day 2, that's a good pick. Will Johnson's going to be a great player in the league. Ariante Irsay went to Texans. Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker, went to the Bengals. Elijah Arroyo. Is he third? He's third. Pretty good pick from the Seahawks. Pretty good tight end. Nick Scorton, edge. This is where the Panthers start bolstering up their defense. Got a pretty good edge rusher. And in the next pick later, they also pick a edge rusher. Oluwafemi Olajuwon. He's from UCLA. Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. Now, watching Notre Dame and watching the Natty, Benjamin Morrison is definitely a great player. He is going to help the Buccaneers a lot. So I think that was a good pick. Anthony Belton, offensive tackle. Trey Harris, all right, wide receiver. It's okay. Ozzy Trapillo helping Caleb Williams. That's gonna help. Tate Rattledge. I mean, the Lions already have good offensive guard. Like, they have a good offensive line, so I guess it's just making it a little better. Jack Beck, wide receiver. Don't know too much about this guy, but he's alright. He doesn't even have a comp pick. But I think with how bad the offense is for the Raiders, I think anything would help. And Mike Green, who do you know falls to the Ravens? Now, Mike Green obviously is going through some very serious allegations. He might not even play a snap if everything goes wrong for him. But the fact that Mike Green fell to the Ravens of all players, and let's say he's innocent. Let's say he didn't do anything wrong. I don't know much about the case. I don't want to put anything on him. If he did it, if he did whatever he said they did, I mean, if he plays, he's going to be a great player in the league. If he doesn't play, that's going to be a really sad story. Just all around. Why did he go to the Ravens? The Ravens, they already have a good defense. They don't need more good players. RJ Harvey, not the best running back decision, in my opinion. Trey Amos, cornerback. Shamar Turner, Texas A&M, defensive tackle. Norman Lott, he's also defensive tackle, goes to the Chiefs. And Andrew Mukuba, safety, he goes to the Ravens. The third, Darius Alexander, Giants. Ashton Gallot, the Chiefs. Harold Fannin Jr. goes to the Browns. Now, here's my thing. They already have a good tight end at David Njoku. However, Harold Fannin Jr. is being slept on. He was the best tight end in college football last year. He should have won the award. Tyler Warren obviously won it because he's the best tight end in the nation. However, Harold Fannin Jr. was the best tight end last season. And he put up amazing production. The fact that he's ranked this low and fell this low is kind of surprising, considering he's one of the best tight ends in the nation. I think this is a really good pick for the Browns, even though they didn't necessarily need a pass-catching tight end because they already have David Njoku. However, I like the pick. I really do. Darian Porter. I know that. He's pretty good. Kyle Williams went to the Patriots. Isaac Tesla. He already got traded from what I saw. So, he's not on the Lions, but he went there for a few seconds. Vernon Broughton, St. Landon Jacksonville. Azariah Thomas. I think I got that right. Cornerback. He's from Florida State. He fits with... Is Jordan Travis still on the Jets team? I don't know. Pat Bryant from Illinois. Now, Pat Bryant, he's sneakily good. Now, he was ranked pretty low. However, he had a pretty good season last year. So, we're going to see if Pat Bryant develops well. I think he can do well in the league. Nick Martin, linebacker, goes to the 49ers. Siobhan Ravel Jr., Cowboys. Princely Umanmielen. Yeah. He's another edge. He goes to the Panthers. Bolstering up the defense again. 2 rookie edge rushers. We'll see if one of them starts. I think they're going in the right direction. Jordan Birch, edge, Oregon. Again, the Texans get another receiver, and they get Jaden Noel. And I like Noel. Noel is an interesting prospect. I like Noel a lot. He fell a little bit. Noel, he played on Iowa State. He was key producer in getting them one of their first 10-win seasons of all time. Just great wide receiver player. A wide receiver player. I don't even know what that means. Great player. I'm kind of mad that he fell all the way down to the Texans. The Colts, they select Justin Wally from Minnesota. Now, I don't know too much about this guy, but people who watch tape over him, they say he's pretty good. So I'm actually pretty excited. Although it might have been a little of a reach. I feel like you could have gotten the 4th. However, it's definitely an hard pick. Dylan Fairchild goes to the Browns. Yeah, Bengals fans are mad at me at that one. Kevin Winston Jr. goes to the Titans. Caleb Johnson, running back from Iowa, he goes to the Steelers. Now, not necessarily starting level running back, however, pretty good running back. I like him. I like the fit to the Steelers. Jake, again, though, they passed on Shador. Jake Parrish, he goes to the Buccaneers. Noel Williams goes to the Chiefs. Jamarie Caldwell goes to the Chargers. Savion Williams goes to the Broncos. Caleb Branshaw and Wes Millum both go to the Jags. Josiah Stewart goes to the Rams. Emory Jones. Now, I actually know Emory Jones. He's not too bad. He goes to LSU. The Seahawks take who? They take Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe sucks. Jalen Milroe's not good. Jalen Milroe is not good. Jalen Milroe over Shador? And then you see that at 30? Dylan Gabriel over Shador? Oh, I don't... This... Jalen Milroe, that was funny. But Dylan Gabriel, something... this dude must have had the worst attitude in his meetings. Or something else. Maybe NFL just doesn't like him. This is insane. Jalen Milroe and Dylan Gabriel over Shador? I mean, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. I do like the Jalen Milroe to Seattle pick. But Dylan Gabriel makes absolutely zero sense. Let's be honest. Jonas Sankler goes to the Saints. Jared Wilson goes to the Patriots. And the guy I wanted, for the Colts, Xavier Watts, Notre Dame. He surprisingly falls. I had him in the second round. He falls down to the Falcons, and the Falcons get Xavier Watts. I really wanted him to be a Colt. I feel like he would have been a great fit. I feel like we could have used another safety like him. However, it just doesn't have everything works. Like, instead of Wally, I'm taking Watts, and I'm taking Wally in the 4th. It's just, it's not good. Jalen Smith goes to the Texans. Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant from William and Mary. Now, these two could have both been Shedeur. I mean, the Raiders need a QB. They have Geno Smith. Now, what happens if Geno Smith doesn't play good? They don't have anything else. So the fact that you take 2 offensive tackles, one from who? One from William and Mary. They haven't made March Madness ever. No, that was just like an off ramp. I don't know what that was about. But taking 2 offensive tackles over Shedeur, interesting choice. Upton Stout, actually not a bad cornerback. He goes to the 49ers. Savion Jones, edge, goes to the Broncos. Ty Felton's definitely interesting. He's an alright wide receiver. He comes from the Terps. I think he'll do pretty well in the league. We're just going to have to see. Going a little more faster now. Chimere Dike, Titans. By Shaul Tootin. He's pretty alright running back from Virginia Tech. I actually like the pick. But Cam Skattebo, this dude is an Arizona State legend. I wish he could have had a better career in college, because you want this kind of guy to go high in the draft. Cam Skattebo, he's just cool. He's just cool. I like Cam Skattebo a lot. I feel like he's going to do pretty good in the league, surprisingly. Don't be surprised if he becomes one of the better running backs in the league. I like Skattebo a lot. Greg Wilson, Patriots, Jack Kaiser. Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame goes to the Jaguars. Dante Thornton Jr. goes to the Raiders. Deontay Walker goes to the Bills. Aaron Smith, Jets. Ty Robinson, Eagles. Danny Stutzman, Saints. CJ West, Indiana, Hoosier. He's a defensive tackle. And he goes to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, he was ranked 195. Kind of a reach. However, he was pretty good at Indiana, so I'm glad to see him off the board. Trevor Etienne from Georgia. Not the best running back, but definitely a name you want to watch. He goes to the Panthers. Woody Marks, Texans. Jaquez Hunter. From Auburn. Goes to the Rams. Billy Bowman goes to the Falcons. Barrett Carter goes to the Bengals. Gunnar Helm, tight end from Texas. He goes to the Titans. David Walker of the Bucks. Lathan Ransom. Panthers. And the hero. The guy that saved the Michigan game. Or so what Gus Johnson said, until the Michigans just turned it around and still won the game anyway. I'm still mad about that game, let's be honest. But Jack Sawyer, he surprisingly was not a big in the comp. And he got a strip sack fumble against Texas that pretty much won him the game there. However, not a highly wanted draft pick, not the best player. And he falls all the way to the Steelers in the 4th. Now, Baron Sorwell, I don't know if he's necessarily the greatest player, but that guy is cool. He waited in the green room until day 3 just to hear his name called. And the commissioner came up and everything. It was the Green Bay Packers who picked him. Whole crowd cheered. He got his hug with his commissioner, talk with all the fans. I hope that guy becomes a legend. That's what you want to see. Let's be honest. That's what you want to see. Baron Sowell, really cool guy. Kyle Kennard goes to the Chargers. Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, he goes to the Browns. Dylan Sampson's definitely an interesting prospect. He was ranked higher. He actually fell a bit. So, taking him with Quinshawn, though, I don't know what the Browns are doing. We'll see about that later. The Colts, They take Jalen Travis. We need offensive tackles, but I don't know if I would take offensive tackle right now, and I don't know if I would take him right now. I don't know about the Colts these later rounds. Jalen Lane goes to the Commanders. Teddy Buchanan goes to the Blue Ravens. Malachi Moore, he's an interesting prospect. He goes to the Jets. Quincy Riley, Saints. Ruben Polite II, the Bears. Jalen Royals, interesting name. He goes to the Chiefs. K. Robinson, or Q, however you say the K. Robinson, he goes to the Broncos. Tonka Hemingway, again, passes on Shador. Defensive tackle. Right. Alec Ayomanur, definitely an interesting prospect. He had one of the really good plays. One of really good games like a year or two ago. Definitely an interesting prospect. I don't actually hate the pick for the Titans. Joshua Farmer, he goes to the Patriots. And Jordan Watkins goes to 49ers. And we reach round 5 with no Shador, however. That's going to change soon. As you can see, Tyron Ingram-Dawkins goes to the Vikings. Cam Jackson, Panthers. Carson Vincent, the Ravens. Riley Mills, Seahawks. Jordan Phillips, Dolphins. Shador Sanders. He was ranked 35 overall, but he was the second best quarterback in the position. His pro comp is Jared Goff. And they took... But the thing is, the Browns took Dylan Gabriel already. I don't know what they're doing. What is going through their draft heads? Were they forced to make this pick, possibly? It's just... I don't know. I don't know why they did this. And they also have Joe Flacco. They also have Kenny Pickett. And they also have Deshaun Watson, too. I mean, I don't know. Shador Sanders, obviously great quarterback. But I don't know about the Browns. And after this point, no one really cares. Mac McWilliams, Braden Swinson, Jordan James, Ty Hamilton, Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue is interesting. He came from Texas. He had, a pretty good game. Was it the playoffs? I'm not sure. Jason Marshall, DJ Giddens. We needed, a backup third string. DJ Giddens, I feel like, is a pretty good fit for the Colts. Shamar James, Jalen Williams, Marcus Mbow, Dante Trader Jr., Jeffrey Bassa, Elijah Roberts, Keandre Lambert-Smith, Colin Oliver, Marcus Single, Ismail Moden, Francisco Maluiga, Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame, Yaha Black. Yaha Black's actually a pretty good fit for the Steelers. He's an alright player. Orlando Gadsden II, Torrey Houghton, Jackson Slater, Drew Kendall, Zah Frazier, Jordan Hancock, Miles Frazier. I wonder if those are... Chris Paul! The Rams got Chris Paul? Oh, the Rams. The Rams are winning the Super Bowl. They got Chris Paul. I thought he played basketball. No, I'm messing around. Jackson Hall, Denzel Burke from Ohio State. Heard his name called a bit. I'm watching him. He's pretty good. Robbie Outs, Tyler Barron, and it's the 5th, going into the 6th. Dorian Strong, Big Kyle Kone, Ollie Gordon the 2nd. Now, this guy had the biggest falls. 2 years ago, he's the best running back. Heisman conversations. First round conversations. And then last year happened. I don't know what happened. He just fell off. Completely. It's sad to see. J.J. Bakese. Kyle McCord. Now, they needed a backup. Kyle McCord, we saw that game against Miami. We also saw that game against Pitt. There's two sides to Kyle McCord. Hopefully they'll never need to use him because, considering they have Jalen Hurts. However, pretty good backup. Andres Barragles, first place kicker, I believe. Yeah, kicker. Off the board, he goes to... Was he the best kicker on the board? He was the best kicker on the board. He goes to the Patriots. Marcus Harris, Devin Neal from Kansas. He's an alright running back. Will Howard. The Steelers finally get their QB. Will Howard, obviously, Super Bowl. Not the Super Bowl. Will Howard, obviously, Natty champions. I feel like passing up on Shedeur, though, But Will Howard, I think, he has the potential. Tyler Loop, with everything going on for Justin Tucker, I think his career's over. It's unfortunate. Tyler Loop, he's a pretty good kicker. Highest field goal percentage in Arizona history, and he made a 62-yarder. He can handle kickoffs. He did punter. Tyler Loop, unfortunately, but Justin Tucker not doing well and having all those allegations, I think Tyler Loop is going to be starting next year. It's the end of the year for the Ravens. Jalen Reed, Texans, Caleb Mullings, Riley Leonard is an Indianapolis Colt. Now, I wanted Curtis Rourke. I really wanted Curtis Rourke. I feel like he would have been a better fit. Obviously, Hoosier. But Riley Leonard is also a Hoosier. However, he didn't go to the Hoosier college. He went to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard, I mean, he was at Duke, but he went to Notre Dame. Brought him all the way to the Natty. Gotta respect him for that. Really liked the movement. I don't know about Riley Leonard going to the Colts, though. I feel like he doesn't necessarily fit. But it's cool to see a Notre Dame quarterback in Indiana. Tim Smith, also from the Colts, defensive tackle. I mean, these are guys backup guys, but maybe he becomes something. Miles Hinton, Bryce Cabadule, Taj Brooks, Jalen McLeod, Luke Newman, Ahmed Hastarian, Graham Mertz, QB from Florida. Graham Mertz, he's not good, so he's like third string material. Warren Brinson, Bryson Taylor, Rayon Lane III, Kobe King, Gavin Bartholomew, LeJontay Wester, R.I.G. Cornelius, Kane Medrano, Chase Lunt, Cameron Williams, Jimmy Horn Jr. He's from Colorado. And this guy was 310th overall. Obviously product of Shedeur, Jimmy Horn Jr. Not necessarily the best wide receiver, but he can make some noise. Antoine Paul Ryan, Arians Peebles, Hayden Connor, Robert Longerbeam, Tommy Mellott. Tommy Mellott is listed as a wide receiver when he's a quarterback. He's from Montana State, and the funniest thing, 2 picks later, they picked Cam Miller. Tommy Mellott and Cam Miller were the 2 best FCS quarterbacks, let's be honest. Did they play in the Natty? I don't even remember. Miller's a sneaky good pick. Miller, if he gets enough attention, he can be good. However, he's not going to get enough attention. Let's be honest, he's a 6th round pick. So, Cam Miller, interesting. RJ Millins went to Chargers. Jeremy Cranshaw, a punter, goes to the Broncos. And then the last picks in the draft, Tatoa goes to the Cowboys. Jack Nelson, Thomas Fido in 2nd, Marcus Bryant, Jonah Monaheim, Connie Lindbergh, Damian Martinez, Conte Hamilton, Keaton Crawford, Carson Bruner, Curtis Rourke, Indiana Hoosier legend. Curtis Rourke, possibly the best QB in Indiana history, did all that on something messed up. He had some sort of injury. He did all that anyways. Curtis Rourke, he's not necessarily going to become a starter or a big guy in the league. I'm just glad he heard his name called. I'm glad he's going in the NFL, and I'm glad he's making some money. Rashad Smith, Dante Kent, Dan Jackson, Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers goes to the Dolphins. Interesting pick. I'm not too sure about Ewers. Hunter Wooler, Wisconsin guy. Kyle Monagai. He's interesting. It's something. Mason Richmond. Tez Johnson from Oregon. That's a pretty interesting pick, too. but I don't know necessarily the Buccaneers were best fit per se. LaQuint Allen, Michael Robinson, right? Sorry, Ricky Williams, Phil Maffa. That's an interesting pick. Caden Prather, Caleb Lohner, Conan Muffield, Garrett Dellinger, Don McLovett, Jerry Krosky Merritt, Corey Black, Tommy Aking Bestoy, Molokai Matavo, Connor Colby, John Williams, Julian Ashby, Junior Burden, Zeke Biggers, Fadil Diggs, Luke Lachey, Trewesgay Bridges, and Kobe Minor, this year's Mr. Irrelevant from Memphis. He goes to the Patriots. He was at Indiana. He was a Hoosier. So, I mean, yeah, sure. But that's it for the draft. Pretty good one. After that, may as well go to the UEFA tracker. Just to go over some names that I know. You can kind of just look over all these guys. I'm going to point out guys. Like the Falcons, they got Nick Nash. Nick Nash is definitely interesting. Kobe Bryant also went to Kansas. He goes also to the Falcons. Yeah, they kind of just sign a bunch of these guys just in case. Kaleki Latu, that guy has the last name is Latu. Darryl Porter Jr. It's interesting. Ethan Garbers. Okay. Mike Reed. Don't ask me how I know that name. Ryan Fitzgerald, Florida State. Ja'Day Walker, wide receiver from Texas A&M, goes to the Bears. Also J.P. Richardson. They also have Jonah Kim from Michigan State. Jonah Kim, he was a pretty good kicker. You know me and Michigan State. I like Michigan State a lot, so I know him. Peyton Thorne. Ew, Bengals. Disgusting. Cowboys. Broncos. Lions. Jackson Meeks. He went from Syracuse. Taylor Elgersma. Why did it go to Wilfred Lawyer Golden Hawks? Who is what? Okay. Sidetrack. I need to look this up. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Who are they? They're a college from Canada. Honestly, I hope he becomes the best QB in the league. Let's be honest. Bro, just go play at the CFL, dude. Just go play at the CFL, man. Tennessee Martin. Hajj Malik Williams from OV, that's his name. Camby Goff from Air Force. DJ Ugalugule. I don't even know how to say his last name. And this guy, this was the worst mistake Florida State ever made. This was embarrassing. He had one of the worst seasons ever. I'm surprised he even got picked up. But hey, he got a little bit of money. So that's good for him. Nate, well, I don't even know that guy. Max Bromser from Minnesota. Dang, the Vikings signed a lot of people. They also signed a punter. Ben Wooldridge. They picked the backup Louisiana quarterback. Oh, wait, no, this is different Louisiana. This is different Louisiana. My bad. UC Davis Landhorse. Okay. Cal Poly. These are some interesting colleges. You usually see all these. James Burnham. You usually see all these colleges in March Madness, not football. Elon. Like how do you select a player from Elon? Obviously, I know Elon College. I've watched college basketball. But there's a player good enough from Elon College or Elon University that you'd pick up on your team? No. Finlay. What is Finlay? The Finlay Oilers. The Finlay Oilers. They're in D2. They're not even an FCS. They're in D2. They, however, did win the national championship for golf. And this makes sense. It all makes sense now. I know Gardner Webb. Idaho. Brady Cook, my boy, he goes to the Jets. Good to see him go somewhere. Eagles, Steelers, Minnesota Duluth. I surprisingly know Minnesota Duluth. 49ers, Seahawks. Where the hell are the Colts? Am I dumb? I might be dumb. Yeah, I think I'm dumb. Apparently, I just skipped right past them. The Colts. OBC's Bentley the fourth. Blaine Taylor from Abilene Christian. Coleman Owen. Landon Parker. Tyler Common. Emporia State. Emporia State. What? We're learning all new colleges here. Emporia State University. What is that logo? What is this logo? This is one of the worst logos I've ever seen. This logo is terrible. I'm guessing they're D2 or something. Because I've never heard... Yep, they're D2. Yeah. Sure. Marshall Forner, Devonta Davis, Joe Evans, Desmond Little, Solomon DeShields, and I actually saw this one, Maddox Trujillo from Temple. He's a kicker. He kicked a 64-yarder once. That's all I'm going to say about him. We've also invited Caldwell Woolard and Tevin Ship. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Seahawks. Buccaneers. I think we all see who the Buccaneers got. Shiloh Sanders. Shiloh Sanders. Yay. He got picked up. He did not get drafted. He was... If Shedeur is going to follow the fifth, Shiloh was never going to be picked. So it's good to see that he's at least on the team. He's going to have a hard work to try to get to a playing position. Xavier Restrepo goes to the Titans. That's an interesting pick. Not a pick, a signing. And that's it. So that's all for this video. Battlehawks, obviously. Maybe at 4 or 5, maybe. If I don't get lazy. However, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.